Wednesday. It's freaking freezing outside. It feels like January in North Carolina. If you're not from North Carolina, you probably don't know that it actually is basically Florida here until the winter months. But typically, Thanksgiving, my children like hop in the ocean. I mean, it's freezing, but it stays hot here. Well, it is legit cold. There's normally about a month where you don't have to have on heat or air. It's a great time to kind of save a little bit of money before Christmas or pay off your credit card bill, something. But no, not here. It's cold. I have the heat and the air off, and it's 64 in here. And I'm getting ready. This is my 20th wedding anniversary today, which we were married, obviously, 20 years ago. And it was, like 98 degrees the day we got married. It was hot. We had this really nice morning brunch, and I had on this, can dresses be made of felt? I promise you, I think it was a felt dress. I still have it upstairs. Not that I can get in it, but I really like it. I wore that. Sweating. Watching you and Ann made me hungry. So I just did a video with my subscribers this morning. I was over on Ann Dale Homestead page. So one thing that's really fun in this weird world of career, social media career, which talk about like a discussion point. Not that many people are probably that interested in it, but there are a lot of people doing this mess. And you might think, what in the hell? Why are people doing that? Well, it is like, it's a career, right? I know, it sounds crazy. So you want to support other people doing it. And so there's this woman in my town. She used to do real estate, and she has this Ann Dale Homestead page. And she was on YouTube. She's still on YouTube, but she's moving over to Facebook. So she had asked me for a cup of coffee and said, hey, meet me for a cup of coffee, and do you mind helping me? And I said, no problem. Well, we had such a good time together. I was like, we need to do some video stuff together. Like, this is fun. So Monday, she was on my subscriber page. And then today, I went out to her homestead. I mean, like, do y'all even know what homestead is? Because I did not. People that homestead, like, live off the land, right? So her husband, who clearly Worthdale, makes this barbecue sauce. So my Fanny ran to the food line and got some ribs. I mean, this is the person that, these are the ribs I had bought. I'm just full disclosure around here. Where are they? So these were the ribs I had bought. Tony Roma ribs. Now, Tony Roma, I'm still going to cook Tony Roma ribs, but I have until November 15th, so no rush. But I mean, one morning with Ann Dale, and now I'm making homemade ribs. How do you get cruise information? I'll put a post up about it. And also we made tincture. Is that what it's called? Tincture. We took goldenrod that grows once a year. We shoved goldenrod in a jar, and then we poured honey on top. Now what you're going to do is you are going to flip this for 60 days. And in 60 to 90 days, you're going to dip your tiny little spoon in this thing, and you're going to put it in your tea, and it's going to make you less achy if you're old. And now this is, what is this? This is, I can't remember what's in this. Cumin, mustard seed, maybe, I don't know. It's very strong. And you take this, and this helps you with if you have respiratory problems. So basically, I feel like Ma Ingalls. I now have these things here in my special area. And if anybody has an ailment, they're going to come over here, and I'm going to fix them up. Goldenrod. Oh, honey on my finger. Turmeric garlic. Thank you, Kate. Kate was tuning in this morning. Kate wins nothing. Kate, you win nothing. Turmeric. I love the word turmeric. You get goldenrod. You can order it on the internet, or you could be handy and you could grow it yourself. The other thing we did, Ann does a lot every day, I'm like exhausted, is we planted this. This is, there's seeds in there. Do you see them? We did water, and then it has a little well thing in here, so you make sure it's wet. And then we turn it into a little sanctuary, mortuary. And in 7 days, I'm going to have greens to sprinkle on my salad. Red onion, garlic. Look, all these people know how to make this stuff. Y'all been holding out on me all these years. Give me that. Give. Honor. Give. The dog has stolen a Minecraft bat from Amos. Why do dogs like to store in a dark place? The honey is in a dark place. I never win anything. Well, I don't feel bad for you because neither do I. I take turmeric twice daily, great for ortho pain. Okay. Well, I'm not putting it in a dark place yet because I'm admiring my homesteading ability. Did you bring? Oh, yes. And she makes homemade tomato juice. Okay, it's real good. So I was kind of scared to drink it because I've never had real tomato juice. But I've just put it in my pantry. I mean, this is good times over here. I see Amos knocking that all over the floor. Oh my gosh. Amos is about to be home. So I did that this morning, which was good. And then tonight at 12:30, the kids get out of school early. Can somebody, no, don't. I don't even want to know. Never mind. Can somebody explain to me why we have an early release day? Oh, it's your 20th anniversary. Happy anniversary to you. What are you giving your person? I was trying to decide what I should give my husband. You know what I did? Don't tell him if you see him. I texted the plumber. Well, I texted his wife that does the scheduling, Alan Nixon, who's amazing. And I asked if Alan could come by here and take out the thing in our shower so we'd have more water pressure. Because I'm sure it'll cost us more to use all that water. But Amos really likes, Big Thomas really likes a lot of water pressure. I saw you in Target and was being a stalker. I was in Target, Rocky Mount. Well, you weren't a stalker because I didn't see you. I walked out of Target with a turtleneck and like a dog, 13-year-old that I was like in a war about because I did not want to buy some, face cream that she just had to have. Okay, Noreen says, teacher need meeting and planning time. Our schools have early release every Wednesday. Every Wednesday? Well, I'm all for teachers having time. If it were up to me, I think the school days should be out at like 2. I mean, I'm all for that. But it's cold. It's Wednesday. And for me, I had to. The pumpkin patch. Is there... Oh, God, it's time for the pumpkin patch already? It's hardly October. I can't get into all this. I'm still like, I had planned a swim party for Sunday. Legit, a swim party. And our youth minister at church was like, I don't think the weather is going to be really conducive for swimming. Well, I don't know. Why? Because it's 52? It's fine. Just let them in my house so they can trash it like they always do. All these children. This year is China. Oh, it is? Everything is made in China. Oh, that's the present, China? Somehow I don't think my husband wants China. College tours for Thomas. Ugh. I have a junior in high school. This whole college thing might stress me out. I tell you one thing you should do is start looking at the price of college. I can see why people really like to go to public universities. That's for sure. Yes, yeah, a lot better. But then somebody told me this whole, like, if you're in a fraternity, that's another $7,000 a year. So you pay the same amount as that as you do for tuition. We're having a swim party Sunday, but it will be hot here. Well, it ain't any hot here. Yesterday, my mom went to, you're talking about Wilson, went to Elm City. Elm City is a little town between Wilson and Rocky Mount. And there's this, it's called the Frame Gallery, I think. Frame Alley, Frame something. Oh, hi, Timothy. Timothy Posey was on YouTube over on the Ann video. He's a framer. And so the wife, the couple, has had this framing business for 30 years. And they framed some stuff for us. And I mean, this painting I think is so awesome. You kind of need to get back from it. Hold on. But I really like the frame. My husband said it was really a fun painting, and he did not say that in a nice way. Can you see what it is? I'll give you a hint. The name of it is Charlottesville. It's Charlottesville. I mean, I love it. New York, really? Well, that's good to know, Susan. So I was thinking about putting it right here on this wall where this mirror is. Then I just got to find a place for the mirror. We just celebrated 30 years. You know, 20 years of being married. I was 27 when we got married. So now we've been in, come on in. Come on. Been married 20 years. It's sort of a long time. And I woke up this morning with about 4 to 6 inches of space on the bed, Framers Alley. Thank you, Nancy. 4 to 6 hours and 4 to 6 inches. A dog, a cat, and my husband and an almost 9-year-old in my bed. If you had told me that 20 years ago, that's what I was going to be doing, I would not have believed you. One, I would be like, I don't have dogs in my bed. 2, I'd never, ever have children in my bed. You know what happens? One thing I've learned after 20 years, never say never. What kind of hooks do you use to hang your art? I find a nail in the house and don't measure it and whack it in the wall. Been married 51 years. Holy crapoly. Well, never say never. Never, ever. You know, marriage is not honor, quiet. The dog barking to get in. Now she wants to go out. What she really likes is for me to leave the door open so she can come in and out. And I'm not going to do that today because it's too cold. No, 20 years of marriage could be, what time is it? I don't want to miss the bus. Marriage is tricky, especially with children and opinions and jobs and money. And I mean, I just remember years ago we had honor, quiet, marriage counseling. And this priest, his name was Tom Rickenbacker, and he was pretty good at it. And he said a couple things that struck me. He said, one, you need to have your non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? Like, what are you not going to allow in your marriage or not? And I was like thinking at the time, like, is there a non-negotiable? We can work through everything. And then the other big thing he said was family, like you're going to need to be able to handle families, two families that come from different spaces. And you know, you're getting married, you're excited, you've got a ring, it's going to be wonderful. And it's really true. Like you have to commit to being married. Now, I'm not saying there's always somebody out there that's going to be like, well, I didn't get married, or I wasn't married, or I got divorced. Listen, there's exceptions to the rule. That's why I never say never. But I will say staying married is tricky. And it's helpful, I think. We have had a help because we have been able to watch both our parents stay married. And thank you, Chris. Children in the bed equals some sleep versus no sleep. Thank you. You just roll with it. How did you meet your husband? Well, I met my husband in college. He would tell you that the way we met was that he was a pledge at the K House at State. And I was, did you have a subscriber video this morning? I did, Jan, but you're not a subscriber, I don't think. Yes, I did have one at Ann Dale's house. I met my husband. He was a pledge at the K House at NC State, and he was picking up cigarette butts and trash. And he says that I was up on the deck at a band party smoking cigarettes and throwing them down, watching him pick the butts up. I would like to say I think that's a lie because I did not see him. He said, I thought you were a lot older than me. But then he said one time he would have these parties at his house. He lived at this, anybody that I went to college with knows this, Six Dixie. There was a party there every Thursday night. And I remember he would be waiting out on the front stoop, and you would go to his party. And he would always say, hey, how you doing? And I'd say, hey, how you doing? It's real kind of serious and didn't give me any attention, which kind of bugged me because I thought I was cute. Well, one time we were over there before a big football game, and he just said to no one in particular, I'm going to the KA house to see, I don't know, something. Maybe his parents were there. And I said, well, great. I want to ride with you because my friend Jennifer Holloman is going to be over there. And he was like, no, you're not. Jan, you're not one. Maybe Facebook likes to kick people out of my subscriber group because Facebook hates me. So you're going to have to resubscribe. He was like, no, you're not going over there with me. I was like, I just want to ride. It's not that big of a deal. Let me ride over there with you. And he said, no, my parents are there. They might think we're dating. I said, well, I'm not going to tell them we're getting married. Can you just not be a freak and let me ride with you? And I got in the car with him anyway. Fruit Loop. Did you have other serious relationships? Thomas dated a girl in college for maybe a couple years, and I dated somebody for maybe a year at the most. So, we dated other people, but we started dating when he was still in college and I was in graduate school. I love the fact that you have stuff on your walls, shelves, tables. Welcome. Well, you really want to feel good about yourself. Come in here and open up a closet door. Bad times. And then we started dating. I pursued him fairly heavily when I was in graduate school. I was like, he is so cute and nice and funny. And I had dated a few people at that point that were nice. I dated some nice folks. But then I just would kind of break up with somebody or get tired of them. I don't know, whatever. And my dad said to me, my father, talk about a treat to see. Are you the same age? We're the same age, but I finished college early and it took him longer. Well, yeah, we're the same age. He's a few months older than me. But he said, you know, Adrian, I think it's fine. You date these people, whatever, no big deal. Like them, don't like them. He said, but eventually there aren't going to be any left. Now, I don't know if that was good advice to say to your 22-year-old daughter, but it really stuck with me. And he always pointed out that you wanted to marry somebody nice. Nice, nice, nice. And Thomas is nice. He's not moody. He's nice. He's funny. Now, he will do crap to drive me bananas, as I do him, because we live together, but he's nice. So nice goes a long way, I would just say. And then there's sometimes I remember calling a friend of mine. I was like, oh, I mean, we might have to get divorced. This is years ago. She was like, oh, it's January. Everybody feels like that in January. So you need friends, too, that support you. And if things are hard, that they say, you know what, you're going to be fine. Hold on. Honor, come. There are surveyors across the street from my house on this creek. And Honor thinks that these people are going to come in here. I mean, it's like the Russians in Ukraine. She thinks they're going to get her. But anyway, that's all I got. I got nothing. I got to get ready, go pick up people at the bus stop on my wedding anniversary, work on my ribs. Mary Scott said, I'm grinning hearing this, even though I've heard it many times. Which part? The part about Thomas picking up my cigarette butts? Or the part about me saying I can't get married and my other friends stay married? My friend said it's January. But anyway, you need to acknowledge that it's not always going to be perfect and easy. You don't have to like be Miss Finstagram and be like, my husband, everything is wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you don't need to do that. You can be like, oh my God, this person hates me and I might hate them this minute. And that's okay. But I really do love them. And they might drive me crazy. And the other thing is, when I was first married, not that I'm any expert, I would get really annoyed at stupid mess. Like I remember on Saturdays, I cleaned because I worked all week. So I would clean on Saturdays and he would watch football on Saturdays. So I would clean and like, I remember pushing the vacuum cleaner under his feet, just getting more pissed by the second. Well, one, why did I even clean? I mean, it was only the two of us in the house. Who cared if it looked good? And two, he didn't care. And then I remember he would like go do stuff with friends. And I was like, we had a baby at this point. I was like, you're just off doing stuff with friends. And he said, well, why don't you ever go anywhere? And I was like, why don't I go anywhere? Well, he wishes that he hadn't said that. Now I go places. It's not a fairy tale. Yesterday, my friend Mary Scott and I were in Rocky Mount. We'd gone to see her daughter's tennis match. And we'd been gone, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I was like, I need to let Thomas know that we're in Rocky Mount. So we are very independent from one another. But it seems to work well for us. Other people talk on the phone every 20 minutes all day long. And you know what? If that works for them, that's good. I usually talk to Thomas every day. I call him and check in, see what the plan is. Like, what time do you think you'll get home? Now, I don't wait for him to get home at that time because he's not a real prompt person. My dad did a subscriber video with me and he told all his opinions about picking a spouse. My dad, you have to really be ready to hear some opinions if you're going to tune into him. Never take your arguments home to mom and dad. Keep it between husband and wife. Oh, yeah. Well, I think when you're married, my husband probably annoys my parents, and I'm sure I annoy his parents. But then at the same point, I don't like my parents being annoyed at my husband. I would defend him till the death, too. Like your children, right? They annoy you, but if anybody says anything mean about them, it's my children. They're perfect. A minister told you that everybody hates their husband. Yes, Tom Brady and Giselle something are getting divorced. And because he was going to quit football and now it's time for her. I mean, I don't know if that makes her happy. The way it seems to me is that getting divorced would be a big pain in my ass. Because then we'd have to move. I like my house. We'd have to split up the furniture. Well, I have 2 couches and they match. I want both of them. And then we'd have to figure out who in the devil was picking up somebody and talking to them, making the dentist appointments. Ugh, I just can't deal with all those things. It's so tired. It seems like a lot of work to me. Now, I could see if something was really wrong, like somebody was mean or abusive or whatever, yeah, get the hell out of there. I mean, I had a friend, I remember when she got divorced, I was like, thank you, Lord, because he was the biggest A-double-S hole. And maybe Tom Brady is. I don't know. Maybe Giselle is. But it's going to be a big pain. When did you have your father-in-law on? My father-in-law was on my blog, I don't know, maybe a week or 2 ago. We're going to be doing Thursday mornings. Of course, I don't know if we're starting next Thursday. I had two divorces, and they are a pain in the ass. Well, right, Cassie? And I mean, I know that's not a popular thing to say. But I would say don't get divorced just because. Now, if you don't have children and you want to get divorced, go for it. I would do it the quicker the better, because there's no reason to drag kids into all that mess. But, it's just going to be rough sometimes. But you choose. I don't know. You choose. And one thing happens in our house. We'll get grumpy or fuss about something, and then we laugh. Laughing is really balm for the soul in my mind. My parents have been married, I don't know, 50-something years. And I mean, they can drive you crazy. I mean, my dad can drive me crazy. If I had been married to my dad, we would be divorced. Yeah, there was no, that would have never worked. But we shouldn't have got married in the first place. My grandparents, my dad's parents, back when you used to get married, dear Mr. and Mrs. Harold, Nancy and I are delighted to send our warm wishes for your 50th wedding anniversary. Your long marriage is a fine tribute to your love for one another and to the choice blessings God has bestowed upon you. May your future be filled with even greater happiness and many more such milestones. Many more such. Again, happy anniversary, and may God bless you and keep you both. Sincerely, Ronald Reagan. Now, I'll be darned. Ronald Reagan, my father-in-law on marriage advice. Holy crap. Now, that would be good. That'd be real funny. She may be right. They have enough money, really love each other, have good kids. She's afraid he'll get injured, maybe severely, and she doesn't want to go through that. Well, you know what is going to happen, Michelle, if she's really divorcing him because she's afraid he's going to get injured? If he ends up getting injured and he's her ex-husband, she's going to be going through it. I have an old college friend right now whose ex-husband, she has a caring bridge, and she's doing it because you care for your children. You care for their dad or mom or whatever, Like, you're going to be together for graduations and baptisms and grandchildren. I mean, it's going to go on and on and on. And you're going to be annoyed. Now, again, sometimes you cannot avoid divorce, nor should you. But just know that things can get hard, and you might hate people for a minute, but that doesn't mean you can't be married. You just got to keep moving forward. You got to say, you know what? I'm going to go to the Food Line, and I'm going to get me some ribs And I'm going to put them in the crock pot. I'm going to cook dinner. Are you wearing a Kentucky sweatshirt? Not today. No, I have a Kansas. This is an Edenton sweatshirt. It is Kentucky colors, though, isn't it? The best present I ever gave my husband was this painting here. He hates it. And I didn't actually buy it for him. I bought it for me, but I knew he'd get annoyed at me, so I pretended it was a present. I was like, look what I got you for our anniversary. And he was like, that painting sucks. Like, oh, I love it. Honor, quiet. Come here. Come here. Come here. You were getting ready to go get them from school. Are you excited? You want to ride the golf cart? You want to ride the golf cart? Want to go on the golf cart? Golf cart? Amos? Oh, go in. Oh, it's so exciting. We're going to go get Amos on the school bus. It's the best part of the day. Who are y'all talking about? Myself. No one. I'm giving marriage advice because now that I've been married 20 years, I'm an expert. I would not have my husband on this video be like, well, I'll tell you what she doesn't do right. Your love and respect. And you know, we have a little person with special needs. And when you belong to a little person with special needs, you're both in this deal together. And we need each other. We need breaks from each other. And we need, Bill and Linda just said, do you have any intimacy? What is intimacy, Bill and Linda? You're going to have to pay $5 a month to be a subscriber to find out about the intimacy here, Linda or Bill. Not that it's a porn channel. Intimacy. Intimacy. Yeah, we got intimacy. We sure do. Hi, Connor. Now that I'm an expert, but just don't give up. If you feel grumpy, then go somewhere. Go stay at a friend's house. Or go to Rocky Mount and go to Target and spend $59. And you'll be like, you know what? Things are pretty good. Divorce rate is higher for couples who have special needs kids. I know, Liz, and I don't understand it. I do not understand it. I think it would be, I wonder if you ask people that got divorced with special needs kids, if they found that that was helpful. Because my guess would be, let's do research and go back and be like, my friend Kate Swinson, who has Finding Cooper's Voice. It's an awesome blog. She's almost at 1 million followers. She's a good friend and just a great mom. And she says she was divorced and then remarried her husband. And we need each other. Like Thomas and I take breaks. You know, we have had a toddler now for almost 9 years. We have a nanny because obviously we both work. But still, we are never getting to the point, we can't leave Amos home alone. So right now we have older siblings, but before long, they'll all be gone. And we always are going to have somebody stay with him. Like he doesn't have spend the nights. You know, we have this child that's not getting older in a way. And it's hard. You know, when your kids were toddlers and it was hard? I mean, it was hard. And we need each other. But we both love Amos in a way that nobody else could because he belongs to us, you know? So, anyway. Need to get her book. Yes, Kate Swinson wrote Finding Cooper's Voice. And in my subscriber group, at the end of October, we are doing a little book club. We're going to read a book every month. And the different thing about our book club is that the author comes on and does the book club meeting with us. So that's kind of fun. So Kate Swinson will be a first. We're going to have Amy Weatherly on. She doesn't know this yet. Vivian Howard with their cookbook. You never know who you might find. My husband won't take breaks. He won't go anywhere without me. Ugh. Well, he might not go anywhere without you, but you can certainly go somewhere without him. Be like my husband said, well, why don't you go anywhere? My uncle has been married 7 times, 3 times to the same lady. Well, now that's a commitment. It's Groundhog Day over here, said Liz. Raising our grands and adopted as well. We have 6 from 37 to 5. Kudos to you, Corey, because that is tricky. I work with neurodivergent adults and their parents are in their 70s and 80s, and they're tired. Hell yeah, they're tired. They are tired. Tired. My ex-husband was killed in an ATV accident in 2012. He couldn't handle a special needs child. So, Rhonda, that's kind of an interesting thing to discuss, is that was it a mutual divorce? Because obviously my husband could come home today and say, I want a divorce, or I'm getting divorced, and I might have no say in the matter. So if somebody can't handle it, that's different too. You don't always get a choice, right? I lost my husband 28 years to lung cancer in June. I'm lonely, but you help bring laughter in my life. Oh, and you have breast cancer. Oh, Gretchen, I'm glad you're here with us. My anniversary today too, 9 years. 9 years. In 9 years, my 9th anniversary, married in 2002, had a baby in 2005, 7, and 9. So at my anniversary 7, I had 3 kids. I think at anniversary 9, I had 3 kids. Yeah. I don't know how special needs parents explain a divorce. Has Amos ever stayed overnight with a grandparent? No, he has not. He hasn't. I don't think they could handle him. I mean, I guess if it was an emergency. My 13-year-old daughter, I would think that his own siblings would be more able to handle him for a weekend alone, and I wouldn't do that to them than grandparents. Yes, Mary Catherine Backstrom. Yes, she's going to be on there. I haven't asked her yet, but we're going to read her book, Crazy Joy. Yes, my subscribers get to pick the books. I've been married for 53 long, miserable years, but have remained out of a straitjacket. Took a long time to figure out that my husband was an introvert, covert narcissist. Always had my own life. That's how I survived. Don't know where I was going with this except to say I sure have learned a lot. So, Janice, I don't know if that's a good marriage to stay in. Oh, Tamara. 53 long, miserable years? My ex died 9 years ago today. Couldn't take an autistic son. Wow, sounds like me. I feel your pain, said Denise. Oh, I hate to hear that. Now, see, then I become like a big divorce advocate. Life is too short to be miserable. Honestly. There's a bug on my knee. I don't like that either. Ugh. I'm raising my 2-step grandkids, granddaughter, 8 years old, almost 14-year-old with ADHD. Gives us joy. I've married 42 years with a special needs 37-year-old son and a 9-year-old special needs grandson. Wow, Barb. That would be, I guess you kind of were ready a little bit, right? How is Blair? My daughter Blair? Oh, she's good. I let her stay home from school a couple weeks ago for a day, for a mental health day. Well, that was a bad idea because now she's like, I shouldn't go to school today because it's an early release day, or I have a doctor's appointment, or I'm like, no, we go to school. We go to school. We go into school. Yeah. Yeah. I married at 23. Well, I thought that I was going to be married at 23. I had this plan, evidently, in my head. And I remember telling some girls, like, well, I'll be married at 23. Gonna have my first baby at 25 and my last 27, 29. Then I'm gonna be done. Blah, 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 blah. I love plans. Great to hear you have Mary Catherine Baxter. Well, I have to ask her first. But yeah, I mean, if my subscribers want to have John Grissom, I'll find John Grissom. I've been divorced 29 years. I wish I could find someone to share the remaining life with. Oh, Sharon, I hope so too. My mother's a real good matchmaker. Brenda was divorced and now happily married to a jewel of a man. Don't stay in an unhappy marriage. Joy can be achieved even if you are single and or unmarried. Well, that's the truth. I got married at 16, still married 47 years. But I would never get married that young. 16. Who was I even dating when I was 16? 16. Who was I dating at 16? Oh, a couple people. 16. Yeah. I have a 16-year-old, and the idea of him being married is entertaining. Did y'all pick a book? Yes, we're reading Finding Cooper's Voice. What's a mental health day? It's basically a day where in the modern era, children just are tired and you let them stay home from school. Back when I was a child, a mental health day was when you faked sick and your mother let you stay home even though she knew you weren't sick. But now we've just moved past the whole faking sick part. Money and budgeting. Yeah, money. Mainly because there's not enough ever. There's never enough money, right? I mean, I remember when I made $600 a week and was supporting both of us. Our rent was $600, so that took 1 week. And then we spent about $600 on food, which was a lot of food for 2 people. We had a penchant for going out. And then we had our bills. We had the internet, which was brand new. You know, it would go, you dial up. I don't know how much that was. It was right much. And then you had clothes. You didn't get clothes very often, or shoes. No, nothing. Okay. Your marriage expert is done. She's going to the bus stop. Carry on, people. Subscribers. My husband will be on tomorrow to talk about marriage on our way to visit our teenagers at school.